YouTube, it's Brian Phillips again. We have another box. We're going to open it. It's going to be awesome. You can tell from the garbage bag packaging that this comes from Maiden. Oh, buddy. Would you look at that? This is going to be so cool. This is a C-17 radio-controlled series. Yes, that's right. I can't wait to see this thing fly. 2.4 gigahertz RC series, delightfully RC series. Delightfully RC? Who comes up with this stuff? Anyway, this is for age 14 plus. So if you're under the age of 14, get your parents to help you. Okay, so we're gonna open this up. We have some packaging here. Hold on, we gotta do this. Hold on, just. For those of you YouTubers out there, you'll get what I was just, oh wow. Oh wow, you'll get what I was just doing. This one came with a big manual.
Ooh.
Look at this. Hey, this might actually be in English.
Like actual English?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh.
This one looks like you have to glue this one together, which is okay. I'm not against gluing things together. Looks like it pieces, wow, decent fit. This might not be the right type of foam. Ooh, a little flexibility there. I love the color. The color is gorgeous. And these nacelles, oh yeah, they look pretty good. There's gonna be, I'm assuming that we just glue them on there, but I guess I'm not 100% sure how that's gonna work. We have to put the motors in. Not a big deal, guys. It's gonna be awesome. Oh yeah, that thing looks good. The windshield's a little bit off size. Got the battery in there. Looks like this comes with a 300 milliamp hour, one cell. Got a low C connector, control module, little antenna on this one. Geez, really little. Mine does not, here, give them a close-up of this. My plastic protective covering is not pushed into that hole, the plastic. See that? You see that, guys? There you go, that's better. That makes me feel better. If I was gonna bend something, I wouldn't wanna bend it at this joint. I'd wanna bend it back here, okay? So this will be what we hook up the controls to. And then on the back side, we've got one of these little transmitters. This one came with the knobs installed, which is kind of nice because got buttons here, buttons, looks like an A, B, and a C. It's got an on-off switch. And then of course, this one's gonna take 3 AA batteries. So we'll lay that aside. It does come with some stuff to put it together. Right here in this sack of delight. As you can see, we've got some horrible looking landing gear that will actually probably work quite well. Got some spare props, a prop puller, the nacelle mounting brackets. So we'll get that spread out in a minute. And then of course we've got a single battery charger. So, and then we got a left and a right motor, which come with the props already installed, which is nice for those of you who aren't sure what direction the thrust should be going. Generally speaking, if you put them on backward, the plane is gonna go backward. So switch them. When I say single battery charger, this has a low C connector on it, a female low C connector. Well, technically that's a male because there's pins on it. And then this connector would be a female because it has 2 sockets on it. And then these go together like so with a little bit of a snap. And then we can plug this into a charger. You want to try to keep to about a 1/2 amp of output into this. I'll show you what I mean by that. This is off of an XK lineup. We got a dual charger with a low C connector end. I'm currently plugged in to this thing. It shows you right here, 100 through 240 volts AC at 50 to 60 hertz. And then the output is 5 volts at 1 amp, okay? So you want to stay somewhere in the lower range. If you hook this up to like a 5 amp output, you're going to have a bad day with your battery. So then we'll plug that into the wall. When you plug it into the wall, the red light comes on and it charges. So there's a little red light. When that red light disappears, then your battery's charged. So we'll go ahead and let that charge. Also, just for your information, you can use these double chargers that also come. They work nicely for that. Since it's a single cell, you don't have to worry about balance charging. It's only one cell. You don't have to balance anything. So we're going to spread this stuff out and come right back. All right, guys, so we're back. We've got our 3 AA batteries. We're going to get those installed into the transmitter. The negative flat side goes against the spring. Just look into the drawing. It shows you it's molded in just like every other controller you've ever put batteries into in your life. Okay, and then you'll stick this in here. Make sure the lights turn on and you're good to go. Okay, so that's ready. We started building so that we didn't bore you with the redundant pieces. So we'll go ahead and pick it up where we haven't done. If you're really concerned about a lasting build, then what you're gonna do is, first of all, this glue is, I had a link if you need to buy it from Banggood. Obviously Banggood sent me this, so I want you to buy it from Banggood. They take care of me, so you take care of them. The glue that they offer is really similar to the mucilage I use. And so I've got some of that coming to try, just to make sure everything still works the same. To be honest with you, it's all Chinese glue, so it's coming from the right place. So I'm just putting this stuff around. Let's show the people how I liberally apply that.
The glue wasn't included though.
The glue was not included. I thought it might be. That's always a big letdown. So you can glue both surfaces, but I found with this stuff, if you spread it out with a Q-tip, you can just get them in there, and then don't be afraid to get a little squishy with it, okay? And then the best thing you can do if you want to make this stuff stick quick would be to peel it out and do like a twist, okay? So in this case, I'm going to actually apply glue to both surfaces because it's a fairly big surface. And then I also know where to glue it because I've already got some glue spread. And I just use these Q-tips or whatever brand you prefer. And then watch what happens, guys. So now I apply that, peel it, and you see those little stringies? See the strings? Mm-hmm. That's what you want. And then you just let it be, and it's done. And then that thing will be nice and square and true. If you want to use CA, you can use CA, but honestly, on this stuff, I'm not 100% sure you're going to get away with it because the nature of the foam, this is an older style model compared to the rest of the series. And so I'm not 100% sure if it's going to work well. The other thing is they speak to the sea level, indicating to you how much correction you need to make with the elevator. Because of that, I'm actually going to fly this without gluing the elevator, and I'm going to just guess and check, and then I will glue it once I have an opportunity to tell approximately where I want it to be stuck down, okay? So you see this sticks all the way down in there, and then of course that sets this angle of incidence. So you can pull that up a little bit, make an adjustment, or you can push this up a little bit and make an adjustment, and then that'll help you to fly level and true. So I'm going to pull that out to help me remember that it's not glued, and I'm going to set it down like that to keep it so it can dry square. And then we're going to pick this back up. Fuse upside down. Controller goes like this. It goes to the front of the plane, which is different than a lot of the new ones, okay? So that's going to go down there, but you have to plug in your plugs. So just don't get ahead of yourself on that. So we'll go back to the wing. They're labeled left and right. The motors are labeled left and right. So get your glue, put it into this socket here, this little area that's going to receive that. And my experience has been if you put a little bit in there, and then this part goes on the bottom of the wing, so that's going to be sticking up right here. I just put a little teeny bit on this part here, and then I get myself usually a fresh Q-tip in this case, and I start spinning that stuff around, and that will sort of start to activate the glue. And I spin that around, and that spreads it and activates it. And then I can also get it in all those little areas that I want to get it without making a huge mess. Okay, and then don't worry about the wire for now. So you're gonna set that in. Just make sure your 2 wires poke through that gap, and that's all you have to do, okay? If you really wanna set this quick, you can peel it off and put it back down. I'm not gonna do that in this case. Now, this part, I don't like doing this, but I do have to do it in this case. So what I'll do is I'll take my glue and I'll actually apply just a little teeny bit of it to the Q-tip, and then I'll just run this up and down the length, a pretty liberal amount actually, like this. And then I'm gonna take the glue, and the reason I don't like doing this is because you have to pretty much get it on your thumb. There's no getting around it. And then once you slide that down in there, it's gonna wanna pop back out. But if you play your cards right, you can get it down in probably 2 times. Okay, see how it wants to pop back up? Well, it isn't gonna pop back up very many times, usually once or twice. And I use my thumbnail to kind of point it down in there. Okay, now it's wanting to stay. And then I just follow this all the way up into the center of the fuse, or where you can imagine the center of the fuse would be, okay? So that's all you have to do there. And then this little area, you do want to make sure it seats down in there. Otherwise, you're going to have to squish the foam to get it to go. So that's done. You've got your right and your left motors mounted. Now we need to get to the nacelles on this side. Okay, so from the top, we got one that's square and we've got one that's rounded. Okay, so that's how you can tell which one's which. So I found the easiest way to do this on mine, you may disagree a little bit, is to get a little bit of glue on there, and you'll notice I did a pretty good amount. And then I take this and I spread it like that, and I just share whatever little bit of glue I've got right there. And then I just stick that on there. Same thing's true here, little bit of glue. You notice I'm not going down that channel yet. I'll do that in another step, okay? Peel off the excess, run it around on this, get it to the areas that we care about, and then pick it up so you can control it, and you get that pin lined up. And that's all you gotta do. It's a very easy process, but it is a little bit tricky because these things squish in there fairly tight, the nacelle itself, okay? So we can flip that upside down. They are all the same, the nacelles are. So you can glue this before or after. It is a little bit easier to manipulate these beforehand. So we'll go ahead and do that first. So I just kind of ran in a circle like that. And then I take and I spin it on there. Okay, then I'm gonna peel it off. See the little strings? Then I peel it off. And you do that about 2 or 3 times, and next thing you know, you're not gonna be able to get it off of there. Okay? And then it's done. You don't have to mess with it again. Okay, that'll stay. So just like on the models you built when you were a kid, they just break out of there without any effort. And I just kind of put a little bit of that glue in there. Same thing. Come in, get the face of that glued up, peel it, spin it, just like that. That'll kind of activate that glue. And the second or third time, you're not going to peel that out of there very easy. Okay? So now we need to get those into the rails. Okay? So the easiest way I found to do it was to glue here on the face and then along the sides. And then just a little teeny bit on the top, a little bit on this flat, and a little bit down there, okay? A little bit down there. So then, like we've done on the other steps, we'll go ahead and spread that just to get good activation. Then we'll lay that down on something that we don't care about. And then I'm gonna take and just do a little teeny bit into the other half, okay? Support this with your finger, run that up and down, and you're gonna have a ton of glue there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do both. This stuff does not set up super fast, so you're usually okay for a couple of minutes, you know, like 5 to 10 minutes without too much trouble. And if it does set up on you, you can use kicker or accelerant for CA, and it will undo the bond. It also will probably make this glue run, or I mean this paint run. So now you just have to slide that up in there tight, and you're golden. Now you'll notice over here I didn't slide them in quite as far as I would have liked. If you make that mistake, you'll be amazed how long you can rip that away. Okay, so all we got to do is just do a little bit on the top, a little bit on the face, and then we'll actually take this, what we were spreading from before, because it's still a little bit runny. And then we'll stuff this in the hole. Oh yeah, right there. And then that needs to slide back, just like that. And you can see it close the gap. So just peeling that up and pushing it down so we have a nice joint there, okay? See, that one didn't go back quite as tight. So there you have it. You got your wing assembly built. We've got one thing here, which would be a sharklet or a winglet, depending on what nomenclature you're used to. Just a little bit of glue on there. Super simple. Grab this, spread it out, get that glue working. And then get that glue over here, get it working. And when I say working, guys, this stuff will not be very tacky at the beginning of the bond, okay? So when you glue it together, if you were to just put a blob on there and stick it on there, it's just gonna fall right back off. So what you have to do is you almost have to work it like that. Or you can let these set for a few minutes and then they will tack together, never to be replaced or pulled apart, okay? So now you've got those winglets on there, they look really sharp. And you've got the anhedral, which is the opposite of dihedral. Okay, so now we've got the fuselage. We do not have the wing glued, we're not gonna glue that. We have the landing gear, we have to get those ready to install, so why don't we do that real quick. We'll go ahead and just put a little dab of this in each of these landing gear receivers. And these are the same receivers, but they are different landing gear. So, oops, I lied. Sorry, guys, I apologize. The mains have a round face to them. See how this is rounded, guys, on the top? That's rounded. That's for the mains, okay? Then the nose gear, see how it's flat? So then just slip those in there. And there you go, there you have it. Pretty simple. And then if you want to run off of the landing gear, you can go ahead and slip those in. And then these things will go in like so, which I will demonstrate with and without, provided it lasts long enough to do that. Those landing gear actually look a lot better than some, guys. I actually really can appreciate having a small landing gear because I like wheels up, wheels down. So, like I said, we're not gonna glue this, but we are gonna glue the wing, okay? So the wing, we have to feed through the left and the right, through this hole. We're gonna dry fit this quick. This is where a pair of forceps would come in handy because those labels are fighting me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fold the labels in half upon themselves, just like that. And it doesn't matter which direction they go. Okay, so that should be easy enough. Now I need to make sure we're gonna have a good fit. This is a dry fit, obviously. Although to be honest with you, it's a strong enough hold without anything that you could probably fly it without gluing that in. I'm probably gonna go ahead and glue it in just because I don't wanna have to fight with it later. So we'll go ahead and tip up the wing. Get some glue spread on there. Just along the top of this rail. Top of this rail. There's something nice about building these yourself, guys, because you know kind of where the glue is. You know where it's supposed to be strong. You know where you screwed up on your own. Okay, so I'm just kind of using that standoff as a place to get the glue set up first. And then secondly, I'm going to put just a little bit more in the middle. And I'm just going to spread that like crazy. And just spread it there and just a little bit on the faces of the ends, okay? So remember, this stuff needs to kind of cook a little bit too, or activate. So that stuff begins to chemically react almost right away. And then, like I said, if you really want a good bond, you're gonna have to scrape off some of this finish. But to be honest, guys, it's not gonna be an issue, of course. And if you get that stuff on your countertop and your wife is watching, then what you'll want to do is get some kicker and it will take it straight off of the countertop, I promise. But I wouldn't wait and find out if I'm wrong. I would do it immediately. So slip those through, try not to get glue all over them. And then once you're in the hole, grab your 2 wires, make sure you're through, and then good positive seat. Oh man, that's wanting to bite really fast. You may have to pull the plane to kind of get it to go down in there. See, it's wanting to not seat down there very well, guys. Camera crew, why don't you come up over here over my shoulders so that people can see what we're doing. I'm really having to press pretty hard there. And then see this? I'm pulling the tail down and then I'm stuffing that down into the seam, okay? So you see how that kind of makes that nice and smooth? And then up front, kind of the same thing. Pulling the nose down and then stuffing the seam, okay? So that worked pretty decent. It was a lot more finicky than I figured it would be. And then we have good lines on that still, which is nice. I like the gray props, they're pretty. Okay, so now that we're done with that, we're actually gonna lay that on top of the rag now, just to make sure we don't have a problem. This is a prop puller, so if you're trying to replace a propeller, you stick this in there and you can use that to help pull the props off. I've never had to do that yet. I'm sure I will at some point. So remember, this thing goes to the front of the plane. The aircraft happens to be pointed this way, so we're gonna go that way. And we have to plug these in. It's very obvious how they go because there's one that's white and black and then there's one that's red and blue. So, you gonna come over my right side, please? I think you'll have the best shot there, hon. It's awkward. It's a little bit tight. Almost need forceps for this step because it's hard to get those things plugged in. Okay, so that's plugged in. Now we're going to do the same thing and just checking for the key points, meaning this goes one way but not the other, okay? And I don't want to rebuild this connector because that'll be a pain in the butt. Are you able to see, hon?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so give the guys at home a good shot of that. So that's the way that should go. And wisdom tells me that it would be worth our time to turn this on and make sure everything fires up before we get it glued in there. So our red light's off on the charger. I'll use my 300 milliamp pack that came with the airplane. I'm gonna plug this in. Make sure your polarity is the same, so red to red, black to black. And then go ahead and slip it together. There's a power switch. Power switch is on. You have to turn that on first, then turn on the transmitter. If it doesn't immediately work, a lot of times you have to get this thing level. If that doesn't work still, I have another trick. Okay, the other trick is throttle up, throttle down. And we're bound. Remember, no elevator. Differential thrust. Okay. All right, cool. So the power's off on the transmitter. Power's off on the receiver. It's a little bit disconcerting that when I give it throttle, actually, I'm going to try one more thing. Turn these both back on. Okay, so it's bound. I'm going to try to just taxi this a little bit. Whoa. Yeah, it definitely favors. Yep, it's favoring the right way. So that means that even though they are in both running, it is going to favor one direction when I use the differential thrust. I just wanted to make sure that my plugs were correct before I glue this in. So now that that's been established, we can go ahead and continue. I don't know if I did something wrong when I put that together or if I just got... Did that pop off?
Is there supposed to be a screw in that battery door?
Sometimes you got to take these battery doors and fold those out a little bit. I'm going to have a better transmitter here in a few days, guys. I'm getting the jumper, and I'll show you guys how that works. Remember, you got to glue this in right because this has controls, stabilization in it. Those extra blue plugs are for LEDs. There's an LED set you can buy for these. I've never used them. I can't endorse them because I don't know if they work well. So you see where the glue is going to go, guys. It's kind of a tight spot on this one. So I'm just going to get in here. Hon, you're going to have to go to a different angle, I'm guessing.
You can see where you put the glue there, yeah.
Okay. All right. Q-tip. See how much extra? This one I don't want to get too aggressive with because it's just not going to do anything. It's just going to make a mess. And then I'm going to stuff down this side a little bit. And then I'm going to take that glue and I'm just going to roll the Q-tip into the corner. Simple and easy. Okay? And then I'm going to just ram it, just stuff it in the hole. Okay, so we've got that done. And that antenna is going to probably not like life when I do a lot of belly landings on it. So I'm actually going to bring it out and just kind of fold it back a little bit. Ugh, I hate doing that, guys. It hurts my soul to bend. Because, you know, if you kink it, you break it, it's pretty much done. All right, without further ado, we are going to cap this glue off right now. And we are going to see if this thing devastatingly blows up in a million pieces, or if it flies just as good as the others. My guess is there is no elevator, which I have a really hard time with. Controlling the pitch with throttle, just, I don't know. It's not my thing generally. So I'm gonna start off with probably a little bit too much pitch. Show the people at home what we're talking about. You see that? Mm-hmm. See how there's this little seam here exposed? That would be all the way down, okay? Why don't we just put it all the way down? Let's throw caution to the wind, okay? We're gonna put this on and we're gonna go fly like right now. So next step, I'm gonna plug in the battery. We're gonna stuff the battery in the hole where it belongs. Just like that. Rotate the lead around. Snap the lid closed. Okay. Now that that's flashing, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the transmitter. We're looking for a solid light. We aren't getting it, so we're going to go full throttle and then all the way down. And now we do. Okay, so we're getting sunglasses and then we'll go outside. All right, guys, we got the C-17 here. It's really pretty. I like it. I'm a little concerned that there's no elevator, but we're going to give it a shot. Are you ready, camera crew? Mm-hmm. We're going to try some different camera angles just in case the sun is bad. Full throttle. Okay, well, no elevator. Did not work so good because there's no elevator. So, as a result of that first experiment, if you want to call it such a thing, I am going to tip this back just a little bit, okay? Because at full throttle, I should always be getting some lift, okay? There we go. Cool. Hey, that's not too bad at all. There's my differential thrust. Gosh, I do not like not having an elevator. Okay, I'm chopping the throttle to bring it down. I'm trying to, it looks good. All right, let's just bring it down. Whoa. Disconcerting is kind of not the right word for this. It's like flying a parachute, guys. You know, you kind of give it some instruction and it just kind of does what it wants. It does look sweet. Okay, let's try to land it here, hon.
Okay.
It does really look good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you give it yaw input, it wants to fly. Now, why does it want to fly? Because I'm going to show you what it looks like for differential thrust. Okay, I'll hold the plane in the same orientation. You see how much thrust you're getting? It definitely yaws, but it's giving throttle. So the problem is, guys, it's like the most counterintuitive thing ever. Okay, we're gonna try this again. 50% throttle. Letting it build up the speed, full throttle to get over the... It's cool looking, but gosh, it's scary to fly. What do you think, hon? It does look sweet.
It does, yeah. It is kind of...
It's cool, but like, no
nerve-wracking.
elevator? Are you kidding me? I bought an airplane once from a guy. ASH-26, right? Here we go. I mean, if you're a patient person, this plane would be fine.
So...
That was a little bit scary. It looks great, though.
It's cool.
It looks great scaring the crap out of me. Guys, you know what this plane needs? Besides flaps and LEDs?
And an elevator.
An elevator. You answered it. Camera crew, come on.
I'm sorry.
You screwed up my hilarious joke. It's surprisingly easy to fly considering there's no elevator.
Yeah.
Until such a time as you like have a car in front of you.
Yes.
And then you're like, wait, what do I do now? Or like your head.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This thing looks good. I may have to give this a no vote. Because like, I don't want to fly without an elevator. It's kind of scary. And to be honest with you, you can only fly at a certain speed because like literally if you go any faster, you're climbing. It reminds me of the Inum, except in the Inum, I'm flying inside my living room. But dang, does it look good flying that way. Even with those hokey gear. Damn. Okay, switch sides, camera crew. Let's go over here. We're gonna try the exposure this way. Oh no, we have a reflection. You see what just happened, guys? As much as I want to say that it's good, it's just, without an elevator, it's kind of lame. It's like flying a blimp or something. Okay, here we go. Let's try to make the best of a Stolly Wally airplane. Glad you went to the other side, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
It's okay. I wouldn't imagine it would do good with like any wind whatsoever.
Oh no, this thing would suck with wind. Let's climb to the stratosphere and just glide it down. Oh yeah, you'd lose this thing if there's a 5-mile-an-hour wind kicked up.
Yep,
it'd be
it's
gone.
gone.
Although it looked really good being blown away. And then like, what am I supposed to do about that? Like you come toward the house. I'm telling you guys, these little airplanes, you would think they'd be super easy to fly, but you kind of need to know what you're doing to fly them. And that's why it's sort of a counterintuitive experience. Like most guys that are like me that fly all these other airplanes, they don't generally go after these little ones. They might buy them for like a dressing, something to look at. They might not really expect them to fly all that good. But as a first-time flyer, heck no. This thing, you would immediately lose it.
It'd be so frustrating.
And then you would never want to fly a real airplane because you would think, this is nothing like the Boeing 747, nothing like it at all. Totally different experience. Way funner to fly the Boeing. Way funner to fly the 787. And I'm not saying a little, I'm saying like night and day different. This thing is not very fun to fly. It is cool though. You know what it reminds me of? When I was a kid, they used to market these little airplanes that you could hang from a ceiling fan, okay? And they would spin around, and they would literally spin around and fly on your ceiling. And you were like, oh, that's cool. And then 5 minutes later, you're like, okay, I want it to do something else other than a left-hand turn or a right-hand turn. That's kind of the way I feel. You're pretty much just like waiting for the next thing to get in the way and crash into it. I've been trying to land for the last 20 minutes. And then when the house gets in the way, you're like, oh, crap. Hope I don't get a thermal. All right, let's try this. Let's try landing toward us. Out of the throttle. Unfortunately, I had to turn, which means I had to, it's like the duet. You remember the duet? Huh?
Yeah.
Or I mean, not the duet, but the, what am I trying to say? The delta ray. You would yaw the plane to land to get lined up with the runway, and it would take back off, essentially. Yeah. Okay. I'm into the oscillation of death here. I'm just going to overcome this and be a good pilot.
Where do you want me to go?
You're good.
Okay.
You're fine.
All right.
The camera crew is concerned I'm interfering with, she's interfering with the landing. She's not. This is just challenging. Oh. See, guys, you can't line up. It's so frustrating because if you get it lined up, by the time you're ready to land, it tries to yaw off to the side because of wind. Oh, man. I wanted so badly for this thing to do better than this because it is really pretty. What are your thoughts, camera crew?
Woo.
Is it hard to film?
Well, it's way more unpredictable than normally filming you fly.
Also true from my perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna land it right now. It's gonna happen.
Okay.
Well, you know, in this hobby, you win some and you lose some. I would suggest that you never get this one unless you want to use it for a decoration. But I promised you a flight without landing gear, and I think I may have to also, that was a good catch. I may have to also go ahead and double up and put in a bigger pack just so you guys can see how it flies with a bigger pack. Maybe the bigger pack will make it heavy so it wants to nose over quicker. The other thing is I could try to, you know, get this down a little bit so that not all throttle is converted immediately to lift. Why don't we do that first, since the thing kind of lands wherever it lands? Let's try that first before I say don't get one, because this thing does look gorgeous. Again, I'm tempted to turn this thing into something awesome, but I just don't know if I want to invest myself in it. Okay, so.
Are you going to do a bigger pack?
We're going to do a bigger pack, but we're going to do it this way first with that small adjustment.
All right.
Okay, that little adjustment did help some, but it's still oscillating, pumping to death here. And guys, I don't know if you've flown these things, you'll know what I'm talking about when I say this. I don't want this to come across wrong. But it's hard to do those low passes. It really is, because the stinking thing, you just got to be patient and time it. They do. It's weird. Look at them all.
I know.
I so badly am trying. Whoa, look at them.
I know. They found their leader.
They did, finally. See, and then you get into this oscillating. Oh. Alan Moore would be so disappointed in me. I hope you watch this video now, Alan Moore. Okay, so I'm gonna go crazy, and I'm gonna take almost all the elevator out, and I'm just gonna try this. Flying without an elevator, it's like flying without a brake pedal, or it's like driving a car without a brake pedal. You just don't do it. Okay, there you go. So, it's flying faster. It's almost capable of sustained level flight with some throttle. It does definitely look gorgeous. Look at that outline, guys. It looks real. Doesn't it look good?
Yeah. That's not the question.
Okay, I'm out of the throttle. I'm just gonna glide it in. Oh, it's a little scary with like virtually no elevator because like, okay, there's a house coming or there's a tree coming or there's anything coming. I'm just gonna see how it glides here. I got a yacht. I got a yacht, guys. Okay. I want to give this thing 2 thumbs up, but I'm giving it at least 1 thumbs down for no elevator. But for what it's worth and for what it costs, it is still pretty cool. And you can still technically fly it. And you got to remember, when I was a kid, this would have been a good flying plane. Can I recommend you get one? No, not this one. But there's a bunch of other ones in there that are way awesome. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go get a bigger pack and we are gonna see how it does with a bigger pack. And this thing would fly forever, by the way, because you're just not using the throttle. The other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring up the elevator just a hair so that under power, I can actually get it away from running into a house. So we will come right back with a bigger pack.
Okay.
All right, guys. I tried the 700 milliamp hour that we used the other day. The 500 milliamp hour will fit. The 700 is just a little bit too wide. Yes, you could take out some of your material in here and you could get the thing to fit without too much trouble, but I'm not going to modify it in that way today. I just want to see the thing fly with a bigger pack and see what type of experience we get. So what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and get these together. These are always awkward when you've got 3 things in your hands. Okay, so the other thing is this thing is gonna be super CG sensitive. So we may not have such good CG now with a bigger pack. I'm willing to try it though. Okay, it's on. See if it binds. It does not. I have to start with this off and this on. Okay. Good to go. Sun's going behind the clouds, perfect time for a launch. You'll notice I have the gear off just because it looks awesome, and it's not a very fun landing process anyway. The 500 milliamp hour does. It's doing okay. Feel like I need a little bit more elevator, but it's pretty much the same speed. It does seem to handle the recovery out of the steep turns. Because like when you give it a yaw input, it wants to kind of almost nose up every time. See that, how that happened, guys? You have to be ready to kind of work your way back out of a climb, you know? So the way you get out of a climb in this plane is you turn. You turn the plane, but then it goes nose up on you. So then how does it recover? It just recovers, it noses back over on its own naturally. If you have the real estate to do it. And then if you time it right, you can get the throttle to stop the oscillation. What do you think, camera crew? 500 milliamp, no help?
I don't
really feel like
I
it
don't
did any better.
think it made a big difference. Not like it does sometimes.
Right. I do feel like maybe it tamed the plane just a little bit. It is pretty much dead calm, guys.
Yep.
Man, that thing does look so gorgeous, though. Okay, let's see if we get it to turn. Whoa, that was cool. Oh man, it's so annoying. If the differential thrust worked better, I feel like you could do this. Like it would work. The no elevator equation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can catch it again. Okay. If you catch it, it works pretty good. I feel like that might be the actual best way to do this. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and just put that elevator down, okay? And we're gonna hopefully have enough to do this. Because now, I mean, it's not like you can change it once it's in the air. Oh man, that's fast now. Oh, crappers. About 50% throttle there, guys. You pretty much have to make a concerted effort not to turn. Okay, I'm gonna try to land it here again. Sorry guys, that's about as good as I can do it. Just gliding it in. Got one burst. One burst of yaw. Another burst of yaw. And there you have it, guys. It's not broken. This thing would withstand a lot of torture. But I tell you what, without an elevator, I would not do it. I would not do it. Unless you want this for a decoration on your counter, which, by the way, frustrating for me because this thing has got to be one of the better looking ones. I mean, of all the, what do I have, like 5 of these little things now?
Yeah, I think so.
This one has got to be one of the best looking. I mean, it's gorgeous. Look at that thing. It looks good in the sky. It's got that presence that you want. But would I recommend getting this particular one? No. Get the 787. You'll be happier. Get the Airbus A380. You'll be happy with that one. Get the 747. You'll be happy with any of those 3. This one, you're going to be disappointed with me. But get this one last because it looks good too. Come back for more, guys. I've got more coming.